Hello friends, welcome to the practical session of database management system. Whenever you install your SQL community tool on machine and when you start using it for the first time, you'll get this connection window. Okay, now using this connection window, you can connect with your SQL server. So here you can see saved connection is written. No need to change the name of this connection. You can keep this as it is, that is new connection. Then next is MySQL host address is given here, which is a local host. It is a local instance of SQL server running on your machine. Then next you need to enter username, which is a root, which is a default username. Since we have not created any of the users here, so you can directly use root username, and the default password of this root username is root itself. Okay, no need to change any other value here. Simply click on connect. You can see here new connection with a root user. Okay, means this root user is now ready for uses. Root at localhost running on your own machine. Now let's start with the DDL queries. DDL queries are data definition language commands that are used to create skeleton or schema of database. So my first DDL query is create database. Create database. I want to create a database for company to store information about any organization. Run this command. See, database is successfully created. Now to create table under this database, we need to open this database for the one-time use. Okay, by using use command. Execute this. Now your database is ready for use. Then create table. I want to store information about employees, so I am creating table with name employee. My first attribute is employee ID, which is an integer. Second attribute is employee name, which is of character type. Okay, varchar. And my third attribute is salary, which is again of integer type. You can assign float data type also, so that you can enter value float type of values. So here at output pane you can see one query executed successfully, means my employee table is successfully created here. Now let's describe structure of employee by using DESC command. See, this is the structure of your table, which consists of three attributes: employee ID, employee name and salary, and the data types of those attributes. Okay. Now let's insert data into the table by using insert into command. Insert into employee, then use values keyword. Values is the important keyword. If you omit this keyword from insert query, then you will not be able to insert data. Okay, then my first attribute is employee ID. Remember, while entering value by using insert command, you need to follow the sequence of your attribute. Now here, while creating table, my first attribute is employee ID, second is employee name, and third is salary. So while inserting value by using insert command, I should have to follow same sequence. Okay, you cannot change the sequence of attributes while inserting values. Second attribute is ename, value is inserted, and third attribute is salary. Okay, so execute this command. Here you can see values are successfully inserted. Now let's insert few more values. Value for second employee, then value for third employee, salary. Okay, now execute these two commands. Two rows are successfully executed. Now display data. To display data from a table, we have select query. Select star from employee. Okay, it will select all the attribute and it will display all tuples, all rows from the table. This is one version of select query. If you want to select few attribute, if you don't want to display all attribute, then whatever attribute you want to display, you enlist all those attributes after select keyword. So I want to display here employee ID and salary only. So I can simply write select employee ID and salary from employee. See, it will display only two attributes, employee ID and salary. So if your database, if your table consists of number of attributes, and if you don't want to display all those attributes, if you want to display only few attributes, then enlist names of all those attributes after select keyword, so that you will be able to view only those required attributes. So this is another version of select query. Now next is with select query, you can use where clause. Where is the clause by using which you can give condition so that you can filter your data. Now here we have 3 employees and the salaries of all those 3 employees. Now I want to select only those employees whose salary is greater than 30,000. Okay, then I can simply write select employee ID salary from employee where, by using where clause you can specify condition where salary greater than 30,000. Okay, now when you execute this query, it will give you the data for only those employee having salary greater than 30,000. Now at the output here you can see we have 3 employees with salaries 25,000, 35,000 and 40,000. Now when you execute this query with where clause salary greater than 30,000, it will display data for employee ID 2 and 3 only, because employee ID 1 is having salary 25,000 which is less than 30,000. Okay, now verify this. See, at the output you can see data only for employee ID 2 and 3 because these 2 rows are satisfying this given condition, salary greater than 30,000. Okay, so this is how where clause can be used to give specify the condition. It is used to filter data. So this is the use of where clause. You can give any condition in the where clause. Okay, so this is for select query. Now alter table command. Alter table command is used to change the structure of your table. Means you can add new attribute by using alter command, or you can delete existing attribute. So here I am adding new attribute. My new attribute is joining date, that is JDate, and the data type of this attribute is date. Now for date there is no need to specify the size. It will take the system defined format. See, your attribute is successfully added into the table. Now select data. Select star from employee. See, here new attribute is added, that is joining date, JDate, but we have not inserted values for date, so null is written. Now to set values for unknown or missing attribute, we have query update. Update is a data manipulation language command which is used to set value for missing or unknown attribute. So the query is update employee. After update keyword, directly write down your table name, update employee, then use keyword set, which is used to set value for unknown attribute. So we want to set value for joining date, so write down update employee set JDate equal to. Now for JDate attribute we have data type date. So date is of type varchar. Okay, so here in this you need to write down that date into double quotations, and the syntax for writing that date, the format of date is first you need to write down year, suppose 1987, then write down month, suppose 2, that is second month, and then write down 02, that is second month, and then write down day, that is date 1, means this employee is joined at 1st February 1987, and then specify the condition by using where clause, means it is the condition where you want to set this joining date. So I want to set this joining date for employee ID 1. So I have written where employee ID equals to 1. Now select this query and execute it. Okay, your query is successfully executed. Now verify the result by displaying record. See here at output you can see the joining date is given to employee ID 1. So similarly, by using same command you can set joining date for remaining employees also. See, remember, if you don't specify this where condition in the update command, if you write your update command without specifying this where condition, then it will set the same joining date for all the employees. That's why if you want to set any value for particular entity, for particular employee, then you need to specify this where condition. Now let's set joining date for employee 2. Suppose 1992, where employee ID equal to 2. Now set this. See, it is successfully executed. Now same by using same command, just change the values and change the condition, and you can set your values. See, update. Okay, now all the 3 records are successfully updated. Now verify data. See, here at the output you can verify the joining dates are set for all the employees 1, 2 and 3. Okay, so this is how by using update command you can set your values. Now we have seen one version of insert query, that is insert into employee, then write down keyword values, and then in bracket write down values for all the attribute in a sequential manner. Okay, here in this table we have 4 attribute: employee ID, name, salary and joining date. Suppose you want to insert data for new employee which is currently joined to the company, but you don't know the exact joining date, means you are not knowing the value for joining date, then only you can insert data. But for this you need to use another version of insert query. The version is insert into employee. Okay, and here without writing values directly, you need to enlist attribute in a bracket for which you are knowing value, and skip the attribute for which you don't know the value. Is here we want to insert data for employee 4, but we don't know the joining date of that employee, so we'll skip that joining date attribute from the query. So here we can simply write insert into employee. What to insert? Value for employee ID, name and salary. Then write down keyword values, and then in bracket write down all the values that you want to insert. Okay, and then salary. See, here we are not inserting value for joining date because we don't know that value. Execute this query. See, your data is successfully inserted. Now you can verify we have inserted value for ID, name and salary, but we don't know the value of joining date. That's why null is written here. Now how to set this value? By using update command. Update employee, set joining date equal to, now write down any joining date, write down month, then write down day. Okay, see, your query is successfully executed. Now select data, display data, see. So this is how you can insert value for only known attribute by using insert command. Now what is the difference between insert and update? With insert command you can add new row, but by using update command you can set value for missing attribute. Okay, so this is the difference between two. So this is all about how to create database, create table, how to insert data, display some attribute, and how to set values for existing attribute by using update command. Now here suppose we have seen how to set value for missing attribute. If you want to change value of existing attribute, then also you can use update command, like update employees set. Now suppose I want to change joining date of any attribute or any person. Here we have all the joining dates. I want to change joining date for the person. Then I can simply write 1998 where employee ID equal to 1. Okay, so my query is successfully executed. Now here you can see the previous value was 2005 and the current year is now 1998. Okay, so this is how you can change existing data with the by using this update command. Okay, so your command is successfully executed. So this is all about DDL and DML queries. Now we have another DML query called delete. So by using delete command, you can delete data from the table. So if you write query delete from employee, then it will delete all data. Okay, but I don't want to delete all data. I just want to delete data for employee ID 3. Okay, I want to delete data for employee ID 3. Then I can simply write delete from employee where employee ID equals to 3. Then it will delete data for that third employee only. Okay, see, employee 33 is deleted. If you don't specify condition, then it will delete all data. If you want to delete data by some condition, then use where clause. Okay, so here your third employee is deleted. This is a delete command. Now let's see some of the variations of select command. Select star from employee. Okay, now I want to select data for those employee who have salary greater than 30,000. Okay, so greater than 30,000. I want to select data for those employee who have salary greater than 30,000, where salary greater than 30,000. See, only data for only 2 employees are displayed, because the employee number 1 has salary 25,000, means that employee number 1 has not satisfied this given condition. That's why it is returned. So this is how we can use greater than or less than operators, or we can use comparison operators in a select query. Now another operator is there called between. Select star from employee where salary between operator is used to check the range of values. Okay, suppose I want to display data for those employees where salary range is in between 30,000 and 40,000. Okay, so it will check for all the values within range 30,000 and 40,000. Okay, 40,000. See, only one employee is enlisted here. Only one employee is displayed, because in our table we have 3 employees and the salaries are 25,000, 35,000, 45,000. Now I want to display data only for those employees who having salary in a range of 30,000 and 40,000. So here we have only one employee, that is 45,000, employee number 4. So it will display data only for that employee. Okay, where salary is within this range 35,000. Now we have another keyword, that is in. Select star from employee where salary in 25,000, 40,000. See, here only 25,000 is displayed. Now what is the difference between and in keyword? Between is used to display range of value and in is used to display only given values. It means that when we write select star from employee where salary in 25,000, 40,000, then it will check for only these two values, 25,000 and 40,000. Now if we check our data, if we check our table, then we have 25,000, 35,000 and 45,000, only 3 salaries, and we are checking where salary in 25,000 and 40,000. Okay, then only 25,000 is there. That's why data for employee having salary 25,000 is displayed. There is no matching attribute for 40,000. Okay, so this is the difference between and in. When you want to check a range of value, then you can use between keyword. When you want to change few values, then you can go for in keyword and then write down all those values in a bracket. It will check one by one. Okay, so this is how we can use between keyword and in keyword. Now let's execute another query. Truncate table employee. Truncate command is used to delete all data from the table. See, your table is truncated. Now if you try to display data, then it will give you a blank table because you have truncated your table, but the structure is there. See, employee ID, employee name, salary, JDate, means the structure of table is there in a memory. So what is the difference between truncate command and delete command? With truncate command you cannot specify condition, it will delete all data automatically, but with delete command you can specify condition, you can delete data by giving some condition. Then we have another command, drop table employee. Now what is drop table? It is used to delete entire table from the memory. Now execute this. See, your table is dropped. Now try to select data from the table. See, it will give you error, company.employee doesn't exist. Means with truncate command we can delete data, but the structure will remain as it is in a memory. But when you use drop command, it will delete data and it will delete structure also. Okay, so this is the difference between drop and truncate. So this was all about DDL and DML commands. Okay, so we have seen how to create database, how to create table, insert values, how to select data, read data from the memory. Then by using alter table command, how to add new attribute, okay, into the memory. Then using update command we can set values for the missing attribute. Okay, then next command is drop database company. So this drop database command is used to delete database permanently. See, your database is deleted permanently. Now if you try to open this database is dropped. Okay, if you try to open this database, it will give you error, unknown database company, means your database is not there in a memory. So this was all about DDL and DML queries. Now let's see how to execute data control language query. Under data control category we have grant command and revoke command. and these two commands are used to manage authorizations on a database. Okay, means by using these two commands we can give permissions to the user, or we can take back the existing permissions from the user, so that we can maintain security on our database. So before executing this command we need to create user. So we have query create user user1 @localhost. Okay, identified by, write down password of that user. So the query is create user1 @localhost, which is given in a double quotation, then write down keyword identified by, and then specify password user1 or any other password that you want to set in double quotation. When you execute this query, new user will get created with name user1 and with password user1. Okay, and this user is created at localhost because it is a single instance which is running on my machine. If your machine is having multiple instances of user, then you can specify any of that instance, then your user will run on that instance only. Okay, and if you want your user to run on all the instances, okay, then instead of localhost you can write user1 %. Okay, means your user can work on all the host if you are having multiple instances. Now let's see what are the permissions given to this user by using command show grants. Okay, now these are the grants for root user. Okay, we have login by using root user. So root is the admin user. So this user is having all the grants: select, insert, update. In output section you can see this: select, insert, update, create, then grant proxy, grant application password. Because root is what? Root is the admin user. Now let's see grants for newly created user. Show grants for which user? User1 @localhost. See, user1 is not having any of the grant because it is a newly created user and it is not an admin. So now grant permissions. So the query is grant, I want to give select permission only. So after grant keyword you can enlist all the permissions that you want to give. Okay, so I want to give select select permission and insert permission to this new user, but I don't want to give this permission to all the databases. See here, I have the list of databases. Okay, out of all these databases, hospital and library are the user defined database. So I want this new user to access hospital database only. I don't want this user to access library database. So I'll write database name, that is hospital. Under this hospital database I have two tables, doctor and patient. I want this user to access doctor table only. I don't want this user to access patient table. That's why I have written hospital.doctor to user1 @localhost. Okay. See, your query is successfully executed. It means that we have given select and insert permission to user1, but on which database? On hospital database, and under that hospital database only on doctor table. Now when you log in using user1 username, then you can see only hospital database and you can see only doctor table. Okay, so let's verify this. Now you need to create another connection to log in with this user1. Now you can create connection by using this plus sign. If you click on this plus sign, it will give you a new connection window, or you can use this shortcut icon for creating new connection, or just go to the file menu and click on new connection menu. See, this is your new connection window. Here no need to write down the connection name. Localhost is already there. Instead of this username root, write down user1 and specify password for user1. No need to write down any other credential, just connect. See, this is a new connection window. Here you can see it is a blank window where there are only two databases. Information schema is a system defined database which is accessible to all the users, and hospital database which is only user defined database is here. See, here at root root user we have given permission for hospital database, and under hospital only doctor table. And which permissions are given? Select and insert. That's why at this user1 we can see only hospital database, and if you expand this you can see only doctor table. Okay, so use hospital, open this table for users. Query is successfully executed. Select star from doctor. Okay, you can read data because select permission is given. You can insert data here. Insert into doctor. You can insert data because insert permission is also given. Values. First is doctor ID. Okay. Then second is doctor name. Okay. And third is what? Doctor specialization. So suppose this is a child specialist. See, value is successfully inserted. Select this. See, your new data is inserted into the table because this user is having only select and insert permission. So the user can perform select query and insert query. Now try to delete data. Delete from doctor where ID, or we can say where doctor name equal to Max. I want to delete data for Max doctor. See, here delete command denied to user1. We have given permission only for select and insert command. Delete permission is not given for this user, so it will give you an error message. Okay, so your grant command is verified now. Now close this connection. You can simply close this connection by using this close button. Now we are at root localhost. Now let's see how to give all permissions. See, here we have given only select and insert permission and only on hospital and doctor table. Now I want to give all permissions to user1, okay, and on all databases. So I have written star, and under those all databases I want to give permission for all tables. So I have written grant all on which databases? On all databases and under all tables. So here you can simply write star dot star user1 @localhost. Okay, see, it is successfully executed. Now your user1 can access all databases and all tables, and user1 can perform all operations. Okay, now again verify this. Localhost, username user1, password is given, connect. See, now here you can see list of all databases because we have given permission to access all databases. Now use library. Here, see, you can see under hospital database both tables are enlisted. Under library database tables are enlisted. So here now we are using library database. See, database is open. Select star from book. So this is your book table. If you want to insert data into book table, insert into book values, you can insert data, okay, because we are having that permission. Data is successfully inserted. See, data is successfully inserted. So we have verified both the grants command, how to give all permission and how to give few permission. Okay, so now again close this connection. See, when you give all permission to any user, then that user will become an admin and that user can perform any operation on any of the databases. So to maintain security, we never give all the permissions to all the users. Now I want to revoke all these permissions. I don't want this user to access my system. So I can simply write revoke all on star dot star. Okay, means if I want to revoke all permissions from all databases, then I can simply write revoke all on star dot star from which user? From user 1. Okay, I am revoking all permissions from user 1 on all databases. Now suppose if you see, execute this, successfully executed. Now verify this by new connection. See, here you cannot see any of the database because we have revoked all the permissions. If you try to create any database, if you try to create any database here, then it will give you error message that access is denied for user 1 because we have revoked all the permissions from user 1. So this is how you can create a new user, you can give grants to the user, or you can revoke grant from the user. Okay, if you want to revoke any particular grant, suppose I have given all grants again. Okay, see, I have again executed this grant query, grant all on star dot star to user 1. It means that now user 1 can again perform all the operations because I have granted it again. Okay, if you want to revoke any operation, suppose I want to revoke select operation, I want to revoke insert operation on star dot star to user 1 at the rate local host. See what I have done. I have given all the permission to user 1. Okay, means user 1 can access all databases and it can perform all operation. But here now by using revoke command, I am revoking insert operation from the user 1. Means now when I execute this command, then that user 1 cannot perform insert operation on any of the database. Okay, so this is how you can give all permissions, or you can revoke all permissions, or you can revoke few permissions from the user. Okay, so this is how you can create user and give permissions, revoke permission by using queries. Now another way of creating user is you can go to the tools menu, user manager option is there. Okay, so when you click on user manager, this window will appear. Okay, and here you can see the list of users. two buttons are there, delete user and add new user. By using delete user, you can delete existing user, and by using add new user, you can create your new user. Okay, user 2, select password, and here you can select host also. See, here percentage sign is given, or you can use local host also. Okay, then you can set maximum number of queries per hour, means how many queries this user can execute per hour, how many update this user can perform per hour. You can set this, then click on create. Okay, pass. Click on create. See, now this is another window to give permission. We have already seen how to give permissions by using grant command. Now here you can select these permissions. If you select all, then this user can perform all these operations, or else you can select few operations from the list that user can perform. Okay, now save changes. Here your second user is created. New connection. I have created another user by using that query tool, by using that user manager tool. Username is user2. See, this is my user2. Okay, and it has access to all the databases, and here this user can perform all the operations because we have given permission to perform all operations. See, it is successfully executed. Okay, so this is how you can create user by using create user command. You can give permissions by using grant command, and you can revoke permission by using revoke command. So this is all about DDL, DML and DCL queries. Okay, so now your homework is that you install your SQL community tool. I think you have already installed, and execute all these commands. Thank you.